Okay, and yeah, so maybe a cushion nearby, but otherwise we're gonna start seated. And we're just gonna do a bunch of kind of awareness stuff first with our low back. So we're gonna do our seated rollbacks. This one, we're holding on to the back of the thighs. And you can either keep your feet flat or you can flex your feet and dig your heels in. So whatever gives you more kind of control, you want to have your feet on the ground though. So we start really small. Inhale, sitting tall. And as you exhale, tip to the back of your sit bones and then come to the top. So don't go into anterior tilt, just posterior tilt on your exhale and then come up. And most of us want to do too much here. So do less than you think so that there's almost no movement from your waistline up. There's only a tipping back on the sit bones. Exactly. And you're exhaling as you tip back on the sit bones. If your low back is a little bit tight, you should probably feel this as a bit of a stretch. So when you tip back on the sit bones, the lumbar spine and the lumbosacral tissues should feel like they're on a little stretch. We're going to do this a few more times, tipping back on the sit bones and then back up. Exhale, tipping back, no dropping of the head and shoulders, so just the pelvis. Nice work, everybody, that's it. So when you're ready, go back a little further, maybe include your lower sacrum and then come back up. But try to keep your rib cage lifted away from your pelvis. So you're not collapsing through the sternum at all. You almost want to feel like you're keeping your thoracic and neck spine vertical while you tip back. We have a few latecomers here, which is great. Hi, Eleanor. Hi, Ellie. We're just doing these little rollbacks here, starting small. Okay. If you've done enough of these ones, I want you to go a little further back. So again, keeping your waistline vertical, roll back until you feel like you're rolling into your sacrum and then come up. And you are also going to feel the lumbar spine curl. So it's like you could turn your lower spine into a J shape, but the crown of the head is still pointing up and the waistline is still long. We're rolling back on the exhale. And we're coming back up and taking a little sip of air at the top, exhaling all the way back, and maybe even exhaling up, inhale at the top. Try not to go into anterior tilt at the top, just to neutral. Let's go all the way back next time, at least until you're hanging off your arms, and then come back up. So we're still articulating. You're not just dropping all the way back in one piece. You're still rolling through the spine and coming up. And really important that you do roll through the spine, because soon we're going to take the arms off and do this without the assistance of the hands. So roll along the sit bones, roll along the sacrum, round through the lumbar spine, and keep that sense of lift through the crown of the head as you go so that you're not having to deal with the head dropping back. Nice work, everyone. Let's just do 3 more. We're going to keep holding on. We're not going to take the hands off for a moment yet. We're still going to stretch the psoas before we do the full ab work. And then rolling back. After this one, come on up nice and tall. Put your arms behind you. Windshield wiper your knees from side to side. So we're just going to give ourselves a chance to release that. Good. And you can kind of allow your hip to lift off a little bit, or you can keep your sit bones down, up to you. Okay, and then let's stretch out the psoas. So come on up to tall kneeling. If you need a cushion or something to support your knee, grab that. And we'll have left knee down, right foot forward. Good. And we're actually going to start with a little bit of a lunge. So I'll show you from the side. I'm going to posteriorly tilt my pelvis and just do a little lunge forward and back. So it should just feel good, like you're opening up the front of that left hip. Just a nice easy lunge. We're pretty casual here. It would be nice for sure if we could keep the pelvis vertical. So think about your pubic bones being in front of your hip bones and your belly button. Pubic bones first. Nice work. Okay, next time you've lunged and come back, stay back. Kick your left foot out to the side, so you're internally rotated. Deepen your posterior tilt if you can, good. And then reach your arms forward, external rotation, extended wrists. Good, you're gonna pull the arms forward in space and pull the ribs back. Good, and for the first iteration of Psoas stretch, we're just gonna really lengthen the spine and try to get to the part of the psoas that's attached to the lumbar spine. So you're gonna keep really tall, keep the ribs drawn back and the pelvis tucked, and then side bend your lumbar spine to the right. Be gentle, and then rotate your lumbar spine to the left. Draw your chin in and lengthen through the neck and thoracic spines and breathe. I want you to feel your breath in the lower belly. Arms pull forward, ribs pull back. Round the lumbar spine. Try to keep your left hip bone pointing forward and right knee pulling forward and pubic bones forward. Last 5, 4, 3, feeling that breath in the belly for 2. 1, coming out of the rotation, out of the side bend, relax the arms, relax the pelvis, and switching sides. And we're going to start with that lunge again. So stepping the other foot forward, this is the left foot forward now, going into posterior tilt just to start, and then a nice easy lunge forward. So it's as though your pubic bones are ahead of everybody else. They get to sort of lead the lunge. Don't force anything here. If that feels like too much, then either make the lunge smaller or don't tuck so forcefully. And then next time you've lunged and come back, just make sure you're set up with that right thigh in internal rotation. Okay, and then tucking the pelvis under, ribs back. Long, long spine. We want to lift out of the lumbar spine even as we flex it back. And then take the arms forward one at a time. Already aware that the breath is in the low belly. We're side bending to the left in the lumbar spine and rotating the lumbar spine to the right. So all of that movement is happening above and below the belly button area. Chin in, neck long. Breathe into the belly as you pull the arms in front of you, as you pull the ribs behind you, flexing the lumbar spine. Good. Right hip faces forward, left knee pulls forward, tucking the pelvis. Last 5, 4 with that nice deep breath. 3, 2, 1, and then coming out of the rotation and side bend, releasing. Very nice. We're going to do one more time each side. So right away, left knee down, right foot forward. No lungy warm up this time, just going straight into the psoas stretch. Hands on the pelvis if that's helpful. Left thigh turned in and start your posterior tilt. Encourage your rib cage to slide back and reach up through the crown of the head. And then add the arms, external rotation, extended wrists. Soften the breath, keep it calm and low in the belly. Arms push forward, ribs pull back. Side bend the lumbar spine to the right. Rotate it to the left. Left hip bone faces forward. Good, chin in and long, long spine, lifting out of the waistline. Good work. Last 5, 4, side bending right, rotating left for 3, 2, 1, coming out gently, releasing arms, pelvis, switching last time, right knee down, left foot forward. Nice work, everybody. Taking the foot to the side, we're just going straight for it tonight. So posterior tilt, if you need to go slower or keep it smaller, no big deal. Ribs coming back, elongate the spine, and out come the arms. So we're going to see if we can get a little taller first. Pubic bones to belly button. And then from the lumbar spine, side bend to the left. Keep the low back rounded, rotate to the right. Keep the left knee pointing forward, right hip pointing forward. Chin in, long, long neck. Pull the arms in front while you pull the low back back. Last 5. And 4, you should feel your breath moving the belly for 3, 2, 1. Good. Coming out of the side bend rotation, pelvis, relaxing. Come onto your hands and knees for me. Let's just do some flexion extension in the spine. And this is a little more free form. So it's like whatever feels good. You can just do, your classic cow. You can sway your hips side to side or do a combination of flexion, extension, rotation, side bend, whatever you need to do. We're going to do that for 2 more breaths. So breathing in as you move and stretch, and then breathing out. And 1 more breath, inhale, and then exhale. Okay, and then we're going to sit down on our bum again, and we're going to revisit those ab curls or the rollbacks. So again, you have to keep your feet down. So if that means you need to flex your feet and dig your heels in, do that. Otherwise, you can keep your feet flat. The arms are going to come in front. We're going to put the palms together, a la Sarah King. I like that option. Sitting tall on the sit bones, breathe in. As you exhale, you're going to roll back. You can go as far as you want. You can challenge yourself, and then you're going to come back up. Inhale at the top. We're going to do 10. So exhaling back, and then inhaling up. I don't care how far back you go. I would suggest staying below the shoulder blades though. So I wouldn't suggest that you allow your shoulder blades to drop down. It's okay if you have to give it a little push on the way back up, as long as you're not throwing your body up towards your knees. And we're trying to keep some part of the foot, or if possible, the whole foot on the ground. I think we all have about 4 left. So let's go for about 3 more. Really nice work. We should be feeling the abdominals helping us sequence through the spine and sequence back up. After this next one, hold at the top, everybody. Come up to the top and hold. Good. I want you to go halfway back in your range. So go halfway back. Hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come all the way up. Nicely done. This time, roll just before your shoulder blades come down. So roll all the way down and try to keep your shoulder blades off the floor. Hold for 10, 9, 8, 7. Good job. 6, 5, 4. Can you come up a little bit? 3, 2, 1. Good job. Roll all the way down. Bring your feet in. Put your hands on your belly and take 4 belly breaths in through the nose and out. So you want to feel with each breath, the belly fills like a balloon, and then exhale. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. 1 more breath. Great job, everybody. Inhale and then exhale. Nicely done. From here, keep your hands on your belly, and we're going to do a low abdominal isometric. So breathe into your hands and let your belly fill like a balloon. As you exhale, pull your abdominals strongly in towards your spine, like there's a little hook pulling your belly wall down towards your lumbar spine. Breathing in and out, holding the contraction. A gentle pelvic floor contraction is a good idea here as well. So gently draw the pelvic floor in. Keep holding the abs. Every time you exhale, deepen the low abdominal contraction. Find those strong low abdominals. And then on your next inhale, start to relax the abs and the pelvic floor. Keep breathing, releasing the contraction. Good. And then go ahead and take your arms either across your chest or into a V overhead with your palms up. So arms are either on the floor with palms up or arms across the chest. Then bring your legs up into the air, feet relaxed, and your legs should be a little bit apart. So you should have a little bit of space between your feet and your knees. Your legs can be in a tabletop, straight up, or anywhere in between. You got it. Now we're going to use those low abs to curl the tail and sacrum up. Breathing in Exhale, pull the abs in, lift the sacrum and lower. Exhale, lift and lower. Exhale, lift and lower. We're going to feel the abs pull in and then the pelvis lifts up. Ideally, the legs go straight up and down as opposed to kicking towards you. Exhale and up. Exhale, lift and down. Good. Try a few more, slower pace, keeping the upper body as relaxed as you can. Pull the abs in to lift the pelvis. Now go a little faster, little exhales. And at this pace, you can't fully let go. The tailbone never completely relaxes. We're curling up and releasing only part way. 10 more, 9, 8, 7, here we go, 6, you can do it, 5, 4, little exhales, 3, 2, 1, and then bring your knees in, hug your knees, let your hips roll side to side. Great job, everybody. Oh, good. Put your feet down one at a time. Hands back on that low belly. And take 3 belly breaths. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more belly breaths. That's all we're going to do for abs tonight, by the way. We're moving on after this to some stretches. So first stretch, cross your right ankle over your left knee and bring your left thigh in. Our classic glute stretch. Flex and evert your feet. Take a moment to find your ELDOA spine in the sense that the tailbone and crown are reaching in opposite directions. Low back is flat. Lower ribs are pulled gently down into the mat. Chest is soft. Chin in, eyes down. And then just pull the legs in a little closer for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax your legs, switching sides. Left ankle over right knee, bringing the right leg in. Good. Flex and evert your feet and just enjoy the stretch. See if you can add a little bit more elongation through the spine, a global lengthening all the way from the bottom of the spine to the top. Your arms pull the legs closer, but your tailbone reaches far away. Good. And we'll breathe into the belly just for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax your feet. Put one foot down and then the other foot. Good. We're going to roll to our sides and come on up to a seated position. Good. And I want you to work today in our ELDOAs. We're moving into the lumbar ELDOAs now. I want you to see if you can work on really anchoring the legs. So kind of maximum tension and strength in the lower limbs so that there really is something to pull up away from. So here we are for L4-5, knees in a diamond shape, heels a couple hand widths apart. I'm going to move the flesh out from under my sit bones. And here we begin. We're going to flex the feet. Starts with the feet and the soles of the feet. Push the arches of your feet away. Turn your shins out and roll your upper thigh bones in, even if that means your knees come up a little bit. Good, and just stay here for a couple of breaths. First, so that you know you are breathing, even though your legs are doing some work. But second, so that you can see if there's room to add a little bit more. Is it possible to engage the feet and the ankles more? Is it possible to feel the upper shins rolling out and upper thighs rolling in? And does that help you root your sit bones down? Let's just wiggle the ribs out and notice how we can move the ribs without moving the lower limbs. And then take your arms out in front of you. Line up your ears, shoulders, ribs, and pelvis. And with an inhale, we're going to float the arms up. So breathe in and stretch your arms up towards your ears. Keep exhaling as you reach up. So push the arms strongly to the ceiling and then inhale and start again. Push up as you inhale and then keep pushing up as you exhale. Good. Relax your jaw. Inhale, push up. Relax the sternum, but exhale and push up. Everybody looks really good. Can you feel the legs are as strong as they were when you started? Shins out, thighs in. Inhale, push up. Exhale, push up. Reach down through the sit bones. Really push them down so you have something to push against. Good. Lift out of your low back. Last 10 seconds here. Find maximum rooting in the sit bones, the outsides of the feet, and then pull up. Good. We're going to bring one arm down at a time, keeping the eyes on the spine until very last. So you can release your feet and legs. And only last you release your spine and your eyes. Good. Stretch your legs out and give them a good shake, shake, shake. Wonderful. Same idea with L3. And then we're going to take a mini break and do a couple of other stretches. So legs in a long diamond. And this time, when you flex your feet, just make sure that your heels are almost touching, but not quite. So maybe 1 centimeter, 1 finger width of space will work. Good. Okay, here we go. Flex the ankles as much as you can, and then push the arches of your feet away. Good. Turn your upper shins out, turn your upper thighs in, and hold this position to check those 2 things. A, can you breathe and hold a really strong position in the legs? And B, can you add a little bit more before we add the arms? Because the more strength we have to hold the lower limbs in place, the more we can pull up. Let's take the arms out in front and just experiment with that. So wiggle your ribs around so your brain knows that your ribs can move. And then on your inhale, bring your arms up. And as you exhale, push them up into the sky. Good. Now we're going to add the opening arm. So open your arms away from your head, big 45-degree angle or so, and then push them a little bit more further out and away. Eyes down, chin in. We're going to just study the legs. Could you flex the feet and evert them more? Keep pulling the arms up and out. Could you turn your shins out and your thighs in more? And then really press the sit bones down and pull yourself up out of your pelvis. Press the sit bones down and lift out of the low back. Soft belly here, and we'll hold for 10 more seconds. That looks really good. I don't even have to say anything about the sternums. It just looks really nice. Growing the spine, last 5, 4, keep going, 3, 2, good. Bring your arms to your ears first, get that extra little lift, then bring one arm down at a time. Oh, relax your legs, that was excellent. Recline back, relax your spine and your eyes. Okay, it's time to do a nice stretch. So I want you to be very gentle with this particular stretch. We're going to lie on our side, and you're going to have your knees tucked right in towards you, as pretty much as close as they can get. And your hands are going to be behind your head. And in order to keep the lumbar spine from doing any arching, you're going to sneak your shoulders forward. So your shoulders are a little bit forward of your hips. We're quite curled into ourselves here. So tuck your chin and tuck your tail. Now, if you're like me and your low back is a little bit tight, you might already be in a stretch, in which case you could just stay here. But otherwise, keep your tail tucked. That's really important. And start to rotate your chest, your rib cage towards the ceiling. I'm not going to go very far. It's important that the chin stays in and the tail stays tucked. Only go as far as you need to feel a nice stretch up along the spine. For most of us, that stretch will be in the low back lumbosacral area. If you feel higher up, that's okay. Keep the hips and the knees stacked. Don't force the rotation. Instead, rotate to a comfortable degree and then use your exhales to soften into whatever rotation you're already at. Inhale, keeping the twist. And then as you exhale, you soften into it. We've got 2 more breaths here. Eyes down and chin in. That looks really good, everybody. Yeah, okay, so coming out of it, of course, you're just going to unrotate the upper body. We're not going to come completely out. I just want you to move your knees away from you a little bit, so your knees are now more in line with your hips. Your shoulders should already be a little bit forward of your hips. So let's again tuck the pelvis and tuck the chin. If you're already in a stretch, then stay. Otherwise, go ahead and start to rotate the chest and rib cage towards the ceiling. You want to go slowly and gently because you don't want to go into a rotation that feels like too much. I would say just rotate right to the very beginning of a stretch and then stay there and breathe. Again, chin in, tail tucked, soft sternum, eyes down. Every time you exhale, instead of trying to push into the rotation, you soften into it. Good. Let's do one more breath. And then you're going to slowly unwind, ever so slowly. Relax your pelvis. Good. Gently press yourself up, really nice and easy, moving to the other side. So we're going to start on the left side now, and we're going to have the knees tucked right in. So bringing the knees stacked, feet stacked. You can flex your feet. Sneak your shoulders a little forward of your hips and put your hands behind your head. Tuck your chin and tuck your tail. On this side as well, in this position, if I'm really tucking my tail and tucking my chin, I actually feel a stretch already. But if you want to start to rotate, you can rotate your chest and ribs towards the ceiling. Don't let your hips and knees come unstacked, and don't push or force the rotation. That looks good, everybody, really nice. So we want to feel soft behind the sternum. We want to feel like we're trying to elongate the spine even as you rotate. Good, we have about 3 breaths left. Instead of trying to rotate further, try to soften where you are. Nicely done. Let's do one more breath in and out. And then coming gently out of the rotation. Keep your spine long, just move your knees away from you so they're in line with your hips now. So hips are at about a 90-degree flexion. And then when you're ready, tuck the tail, tuck the chin, keep the knees stacked, and start to rotate the chest and ribs towards the ceiling. Again, go bit by bit. You might notice that part of your thoracic spine doesn't want to rotate. If that's the case as you go, then just soften in that area and wait. Maybe it just needs a couple of breaths before it will rotate with the rest of the spine. You got it. Flex your feet and keep your knees and hips stacked. Let's take 3 more breaths here, using the exhales to soften the spine and rib cage each time. Eyes down. And when you're ready, start rotating back towards the front of the room, relaxing your pelvis. Nicely done. Making your way up. Good. And let's take ourselves to the wall and do L5S1 to finish. Okay, so nice movements here. We just came out of the stretch, so don't spring up and sprint to the wall. Move mindfully and gently. Good. And L5S1 tonight, we're going to do the same as the other ELDOAs, in the sense that we're going to try and really maximize the tension in the lower limbs so that we have something to pull away from. Now, if your hamstrings are really tight, then you're going to have to take it a little slower to get into that maximum tension. So just be aware if you need to give your hamstrings some extra time to get settled in the position, then do that. Okay, here we go. Wiggling the pelvis into place, wiggling the ribs center, chest centered. Eyes can look down and make sure that everything is nice and balanced, right to left. Okay, move whatever you need to move, legs, feet, sit bones, and put your hands on your low belly. Let's start just by elongating the spine from tail to crown. And if you need more direction than that, push your tailbone or reach your tailbone between the wall and the floor. So aim it straight down and into that seam between the wall and the floor, and pull the bottom ribs into the mat, and then elongate the neck and thoracic spine away from the low back. Keep breathing. Here comes the legs. So flex the feet, kind of to your maximum, even if your knees have to bend a little bit to accommodate that. Turn your thigh bones in, but turn your shin bones out, and then invert the feet. And if you're really going thighs in, shins out, feet flexed, inverted, you actually might feel the sacrum pressing a little more heavily, a little more imprinted into the floor. Take the arms up to the ceiling. Externally rotate your arms and extend your wrists. And now, just knowing you have this really solid lower body to pull away from, arc the arms back towards the ears. Make sure your belly wall and your sternum are soft, and pull the arms overhead so that you can drag the spine away from the pelvis. The legs are helping to anchor the pelvis in its place, and the arms and the spine are gently pulling, consistently but gently pulling the spine away. Soft jaw and eyes. Stay here and make sure your breath is still soft. Your belly is moving with your inhale and exhale, but your legs are very strong. Flexion and inversion of the feet. Shins out, thighs in. Pulling the arms away. Let's hold this for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and now perhaps the most important part. Come out so slow. Bring the arms up first, but don't lose your legs or your spine at all. Relax your arms. Really keep your spine and your eyes as you slowly relax the legs. Then slowly relax the spine, slow, slow, slow breathing. The eyes release last. Good, and then we stay just for a few more breaths. So like the whole body is starting to breathe again. All the cells have softened. Good. And of course, you're going to do a quick scan of all your favorite spots, your muscles around your face and your eyes, the jaw, the collarbones, all those areas where you might be able to let go a little bit more. Okay, we'll finish the class there.